We're having a lovely Sam Adams 13th Hour oak barrel aged dark Belgian style stout with notes of spiced coffee, chocolate, and oak.
That was a lot in one sentence.
Yeah. Hello, BookTube. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Rebecca.
And today we are talking about spooky October-themed movie pairings.
I'm really into horror. You're pretty into horror.
I like a horror movie.
Yeah.
I don't read a lot of horror.
I don't either.
It's too much time in it.
I don't want to be scared for that long.
Yeah.
Hour and a half? Good.
Yeah, but like ongoing for like a week.
Just scared for a whole week.
The whole time.
Okay, what is that?
Just jumping at everything.
Sounds so stressful. So we wanted to pair some spooky, scary reads to some spooky, scary movies. So the first book I thought of when I thought of horror books was the Escape from Furnace series by Alexander Gordon. And the first one's called Lockdown. And it's about like this prison called Furnace, and in this world, teenagers who do bad things get sent there. And it's like this underground prison, and there are like monsters, and the warden is creepy, like you can't make eye contact with him. And there's like these crazy monster dogs and like giant security guards, and it's like 5 books, I want to say, or 6.
And it's a good series.
I don't remember. I like the series. Yeah, they're all pretty quick reads.
What sort of vibe does it have?
A lot of monsters.
Okay.
A lot of kind of mutilation. There's definitely like there's a lot of like kind of a claustrophobic vibe a little bit, even though it's a big prison. Like you're in it with a lot of people, and like everything around you is bad. I wanted to pair it with a movie that I felt also kind of had a claustrophobic vibe to it. I thought of 2. The first one was The Descent.
I was gonna say.
Were you gonna say that? It's so good, and like it's also this kind of escape the monsters kind of feeling, which I really enjoy. I fucking love it.
The Descent is good.
So good.
Well, if it gives you a Descent vibe, I'm down.
I also thought of the movie called The Last Shift. Did you see this?
No.
It's on Netflix, and it was like a random.
Sounds familiar.
You may have seen it. I kept forgetting the title.
Random Netflix.
It's about that woman who's the police officer, and it's her first night on the job, and her first night is to be the last shift at this police station because they're shutting it down, and they're just moving the police station somewhere else, like they have a new one, but they need someone on duty because there's like evidence and stuff that's going to get picked up in the middle of the night, and she needs to be there.
Okay.
And like then crazy weird shit starts happening, and but it's kind of monstery, kind of spiritual, and it was so fun.
Okay. So my first pairing, I did go sci-fi. I was thinking of the film District 9. It's a monster movie, an alien movie, but it's also political. It's also, about human rights, and there's a lot of like thought-provoking stuff going on there all throughout like a spooky kind of story, like a scary, action-y, dark setting. And I thought of District 9 because it really reminds me of what I like about the book Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which obviously has been made into a movie called Blade Runner. For anyone who doesn't know, it's by Philip K. Dick, and it's the book that Blade Runner was based on. And I really resonated with the book in a way that I love the movie, but the air and the atmosphere in the movie, it's not really what's important about the book.
You can love it, different reasons.
Yes,
yeah.
I do love them both for very different reasons. But if you like District 9, I actually think that's more of the same reasons that I love Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and it's more about the thoughtful undercurrent. And they're actually alien androids. Oh my gosh, I can't fucking talk. I'm already drunk. There's no aliens in it. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Just in case I was wondering.
Do aliens dream of electric sheep? Animal androids, okay.
There were some really interesting things in that book, and some very thought-provoking stuff about who we care about and what makes us care about them. What else have you paired?
The next book I wanted to talk about I actually just read with the restricted section. They just started a book club, and their first pick was We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. This book is about 2 girls who live in this giant house, and everyone in the neighborhood hates them. and the protagonist, Mary Catherine, has to like leave once a week to, you know, get food and stuff for her and her sister. Her sister does not leave the house, and the rest of her family is dead, and they were poisoned, and her sister was blamed for it, but she wasn't able to be convicted. There's a very haunting feel to the book while not actually being supernatural, which is cool. And when the restricted section was having their video and their discussion about it, we all kind of brought up how it was similar to Rebecca, the Alfred Hitchcock film, which also is a book. And is also amazing. It's a very loyal adaptation. I've read the book and seen the movie. Rebecca, you know, is about a young woman who had just married a very rich man whose wife Rebecca had passed away not long ago, and she goes to live in, you know, his big house and feels like she's being haunted by the memory of his late wife. So they're so similar in that way, and just this kind of dark, creeping sensation, you know, while you're reading it or watching it, and you feel like there's a ghost there, but there never is.
That's how I feel when you're around.
Is it because my name's Rebecca?
It's Rebecca's.
Rebecca's always here.
So the next one, it's not a movie. You know that I read a lot of romance, and I do like supernatural romance. And I saw the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer a little bit later in life than I think a lot of people did. I didn't watch it as it came out. So when I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it was immediately apparent to me, not immediately, but as it went on, I was like, I know people are like praising all of the unique things about this, but it is full, and I do mean like chock full to the brim, with romance series tropes. And it was just made me laugh kind of a lot, like how people were like, oh, this is so funny, and I was like, would you ever read a romance novel? So the obvious comparison I drew was to the Anita Blake series, because it's just really similar in like concept. It's not like beat for beat similar, but it's super fun and witty. The duality of vampires being like sexy and you want to fight with them, but also you gotta kill them all, so you know it's hard.
Scrunchy face.
Yeah. What else have you got?
This one's kind of a cheat because I'm pairing the book to the film adaptation. They go so well together, and I feel like it's not very well known. It's called The Night of the Hunter. I had to watch this in film school. It's so fucking beautiful. It's this black and white film. It's about this dude. This guy was in prison, and his cellmate was a dude who robbed someone and killed them for it. He like killed a guy and robbed him. And he kept bragging that he hid the money, and he was caught and he's in prison and is about to be hanged. And they never found the money. So Preacher gets out after this guy's hanged, and he goes and finds this guy's family because he thinks that his two young children know where the money is. So he starts to like kind of seduce their mother and is trying to figure out if these kids know where the money is. It's like very dark, and I wasn't expecting it for the time period. You know how time periods, you don't expect something that dark, I guess.
Like what year are we talking? Or what decade-ish?
50s. I think this was the 50s. Yeah. And yeah, so I didn't know it was a book. I saw it in film school, fell in love with it visually, just because the story's great, but visually it was so well done. And then I found out it was a book, and I read it, and it was like a whole other experience. It was the same story. It's still a like loyal adaptation, but it was just this other level of the story. And I don't know, it was so good.
Like, two mediums can tell the same story, and you get something so different from it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Blade Runner. Well, that was our fun, like slightly creepy October movie pairings.
Let us know if you have any good horror book and movie pairings.
Yeah, or just horror recommendations.
For books
or movies.
Or movies.
Whatever we should do in October, like we're always like more horror, more spooky.
More pumpkins.
Gotta get in the vibe. Spooky. If it's spooky and with pumpkins, am I right?
What's the deal with pumpkins?
What's the deal with pumpkins? I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld lately.
I can see.
Oh my god.
I don't actually know how that goes.
That's pretty much it.
Anyway.
Whatever, that's movie pairings. Please watch us next time. I don't know. Just keep watching. Buy books. Buy books.